Friends, today we are going to discuss a chapter called nuclei. This chapter is a branch of nuclear physics. In this new chapter, we are going to discuss about introduction to nucleus, representation of a nucleus, properties and classification of nucleus, and also something about discovery of a neutron. So we know that atom is an electrically neutral. It contains equal number of protons and electrons, and that's why they are electrically neutral. And we know that an atom contains positively charged nucleus, which is located at the center, its center, and negatively charged electrons are orbiting around the nucleus. And we should know the size of the atom is approximately 10 power minus 8 centimeter, or it is a 10 power minus 10 meter, and the size of the nucleus is about 10 power minus 14 centimeter, 10 power minus 14 meter, or it is also equal to 10 power minus 12 centimeter. From Rutherford alpha scattering experiment, we know that uh, the size of the nucleus is something like it is 10,000 times smaller than the atom. Um, and to imagine to imagine this, let us consider a classroom, and you are sitting in the classroom, and you have a pen. If you assume the size of the room as an atom, and then the tip of the pin which is held at the center of the classroom will be the size of the nucleus. So that's why the size of the nucleus is very very small when compared to the size of an atom. So we are comparing the size of the tip of the pen with the size of the whole classroom. Now let us understand the representation of a nucleus. Before going to that, let us see what are all present inside the nucleus. So that will tell us the composition of a nucleus. So nucleus is made up of protons and neutrons, and they are collectively called as nucleons. So a nucleon can be a proton or it can be a neutron. It is just a general term to represent a nuclear particle. The symbol of the atomic nucleus is given by, let's say I have an element which is represented by an X. Then the mass number is represented by A. That is nothing but a total number of nucleons present inside the nucleus. And Z represents the atomic number, which is total number of protons present inside the nucleus. And A minus Z will give the neutrons present inside the nucleus. Some of the examples for nucleus are 1H1, that is a hydrogen nucleus, 2He4, that is an helium nucleus, and 6C12 is a carbon nuclei. The Z is represented in the subscript, and A is represented in the superscript of element X. So in case of hydrogen, we have one proton only, and in case of helium, we have got two protons. So its atomic number Z is equal to 2, and it contains a mass number as 4. So the total number of nucleons inside the helium nucleus is 4, and the neutron number will to calculate the neutron number, A minus Z will give the neutron number, that is 2. And similarly in case of carbon, we have atomic number 6 and mass number 12, and neutron number A minus Z, that is equal to 6, that is 12 minus 6 will give the neutron number. So this is all about representation of a nucleus. So now let us discuss properties of the nucleus. The first and most important property of a nucleus is nuclear charge. So we know that atom is an electrically neutral. So nuclear charge is also is equal to the total number of electrons present inside the electron present in the atom. That means, uh, so let's say if I have a uh, proton number proton number as Z, and uh, then the nuclear charge is Ze, where E is an elementary charge and its value is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. uh, let's say if I want to calculate the charge of a nitrogen nucleus, then its proton number is 7. Then I will multiply that 7 with elementary charge E, that is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So that will give us nuclear charge of the nitrogen, and the charge of the charge of the neutron is 0. That means it is a charge, we can say its net charge is 0. Then let us move on to another property of the nucleus, that is nuclear size. Under this we are going to study the volume and radius. Let's say I have an element X, and it is having a mass number A. Then an expression for the radius is given by R is equal to R naught into A power 1 by 3, where R is the radius of the element nucleus X, and A is its mass number, and R naught is a constant, as I told, and its value is given by 1.2 into 10 power minus 15 meter, which is also like 1.2 femtometer. So here what we can observe is radius is directly proportional to the A power 1 by 3. So now let us move on to volume of a nucleus. We assume the volume of a nucleus as a spherical shape. Now let's say I have one proton, that is nothing but like a hydrogen nucleus. Now I keep on adding nucleons to it. I have added one neutron, and then again I have added one proton. So then when I am increasing the nucleon number, so its volume is also getting increased, and so this will so from this what we can see is volume of the nucleus is directly proportional to the total number of nucleons present in the nucleus. Now for volume of a sphere, we have an expression that is 4 by 3 pi into r cube, and we also know that from the radius expression we have r is equal to r naught into a power 1 by 3 relation. Now let us substitute that r value in the volume expression. Then we get V is equal to, that is volume of a nucleus is equal to 4 by 3 pi r naught cube into A. And the important proportional, so the important thing here is volume is directly proportional to nucleon number, or its mass number A. Now let us understand nuclear mass and density. So now let m be the mass of a nucleus that we are going to calculate now. So the expression for the nuclear mass is given by total number of protons present in the nucleus multiplied by its multiplied by proton mass, which is added to total number of neutrons present in the nucleus multiplied by mass of a neutron. So where m is the total mass of a nucleus, mp is the mass of a proton, and mn is the mass of a neutron, and z is atomic number, and a is mass number, and a minus z will give neutron number. So the mass of the neutron is now mass of the neutron is like 1.00866 U, that is nothing but atomic mass unit, that we are going to discuss shortly. So the mass of the neutron in kgs, if you want to say, is 1.6749 into 10 power minus 27 kg, and mass of the proton is 1.6726 into 10 power minus 27 kg. Now there is an important unit which we are going to discuss, that is atomic mass unit. It is also called as AMU. Actually there is a need for AMU because the mass of the atom or any nuclear particle is very small when compared to the kilogram. In day-to-day life, we discuss, we just say like we bring some 20 kgs of rice, some 1 kgs of vegetables, and so on. So we are but when we are going to express the mass of small atom and nuclear particles, it is not a convenient unit to measure such a small quantities. And so an atomic mass unit is used to express the a new unit for measurement of mass. Okay, now let us see how do we define one atomic mass unit. So one atomic mass unit is equal to mass of a carbon-12 atom divided by its mass number. We know that carbon-12 atom having mass number 12 and its mass is, and its atomic mass is 1.992647 into 10 power minus 26 kg. So substituting mass of a carbon-12 atom and its mass number will give us 1.660539 into 10 power minus 27 kg. So this is a very important conversion from AMU to kg. This will be very helpful when we are solving the problems. So now let us move on to next property, that is nuclear density. We all know that density is defined as mass of a substance divided by its volume, and we also know that mass of a nucleus is given by z into mp plus a minus z into mn, and we also know that volume of the nucleus is equal to 4 by 3 pi r naught cube into a. And when we substitute mass of a proton and mass of a neutron, mass of the proton and mass of the neutron, and then we will also try to derive the density of the nucleus. So the final expression for the density here is zmp plus a minus z into mn divided by 4 by 3 pi into r naught cube into a. So now let us do one small exercise in order to find the density of the iron nucleus, and we will also try to compare this nuclear density with density of a iron metal and density of water, just to understand the difference in the densities of the different material. So we know that from the mass spectrograph we can measure the mass of a iron nucleus. so which is about 9.27 into 10 power minus 27 kg. And we also know that mass number of the iron is 56. And now let us substitute these things in the density expression. So density is mass by volume. Since we have easily got the mass of the iron nucleus, we need not to calculate the mass by proton number and then multiplied by its proton mass and neutron number multiplied by its neutron mass. So there is no need to find out from that expression, since we have got the ready answer, readily measured value for the mass of the iron nucleus. So when we substitute mass of the iron nucleus and its atomic number in the density expression, so we get the density of the iron nucleus as 2.29 into 10 power 17 kg per meter cube. So this is a very huge number. That means the nucleus is densely packed. Now let us compare this value with the iron metal. So the density of the iron metal is 7800 kg per meter cube, and density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Now let's say I have a box which is having length 1 meter, breadth 1 meter and height 1 meter. Then so that box can accommodate 1000 kgs of water in that box. The same box also can accommodate, the same dimension box can also accommodate 7800 kgs of iron metal. And if I want to put iron nucleus inside the box, so I can put 2.29 into 10 power 17 kgs of iron nucleus can be put in 1 meter cube box. So now you can imagine how dense is iron nucleus. So now next topic is classification of the nucleus. So the first important classification of the nucleus is isotopes. So how do we define isotope? So it is nuclei of the same element. So nuclei of the same element having the same proton number but different in nucleon number. So that means it is having same atomic number Z but different in mass number A. And these isotopes will have the same chemical properties. The only difference is they differ in the neutron number. Example for isotopes are, let's say one example is carbon 612, carbon 613, carbon 614, where carbon 12 will have atomic number 6 and mass number 12, and C13 will have again it is having atomic number 6 but mass number 13, and C614 will have a atomic number 6 and mass number 14. So the only difference is their mass numbers are different and they have the same chemical these isotopes will have the same chemical properties. Now let us move on what to know about what are isobars. So nuclei having the same mass number are called isobars. That means let's say I have hydrogen isotope which is 1H3, that nuclei is called tritium, and I also have an isotope of helium that is He23. So here you can observe like their mass numbers are same. Their mass number is 3, but their atomic number is different. Atomic numbers are different. Another example is carbon 614 and nitrogen 7 14. Here also carbon and nitrogen we are having the same mass number, but difference in their atomic number, and therefore their chemical properties also will be differed. So the next important classifications of nucleus are isotones. So here nuclei having the same neutron number but different in their proton number. They are called isotopes. Examples we have AU 79197. That is, AU is a gold element which is having proton number 79, and then proton plus neutron number is 197, sorry. So their neutron number can be given by 197 minus 79, that is 118. And another nucleus is mercury, which is having Z is equal to 80 and A is equal to 198. So we get A minus Z will give neutron number. Here also the neutron number is 118. So the neutron numbers of gold and mercury is same. So these are isotones, means iso means same. So you can, I think you are aware of that. In chemistry also you must have come across this iso term. And then we have also got isomers. Here nuclei having of the same element, which is having same Z and N, they have a different radioactive properties. They are called isomers. Radioactivity properties, we will study that in the upcoming videos. An example for this isomers is something like bromine we have got, which is having mass number 80 and atomic number 35. Their half-life, radioactive half-life is 18 minutes and 25 minutes. So the same bromine atom will have a different radioactive properties. Some of the nuclei will have 18 minutes of half-life, and some of the bromine nuclei will have 250 minutes of half-life. So the next topic which we are going to discuss today is discovery of neutron. And we all know that neutron was discovered by Nobel Prize winner scientist called James Chadwick. Now let us see how neutron was discovered. We know that 1H1, 1H2, 1H3, they are called isotopes of hydrogen, and 1H1 is an hydrogen nucleus, 1H2 is a deuterium. It contains one proton and it contains two nucleons. And similarly, tritium, 1H3 is a tritium. It is also contains one proton. So all these isotopes of hydrogen, they have only one proton and only one electrons orbiting around them. So when you measure the mass of the deuterium and tritium, they observed that the masses of hydrogen, deuterium and tritium, they are in the ratio of 1:2:3. And we know that the hydrogen atom and their isotopes, they are electrically neutral, which means they equal number of proton number is equal to neutron number, and all the isotopes have one proton and one electron. So then they assumed like there must be some neutral particles present in the deuterium and tritium atom, the tritium isotope. So this was verified by James Chadwick in the year 1932, and he observed some emission of some neutral particles when he bombarded beryllium nuclei with alpha source. And in 1935 he was awarded a Nobel Prize for the discovery of the neutron. So thank you for watching this video.